town has a ghost story that's been passed down through the generations. But what if those legends were true? My name is Miranda Young, and I'm the Ghost Biker. Hey everyone, happy Thursday night. Happy almost end of August. I am your host, the Ghost Biker, and I am back in the haunted, historic Scott County Jail. Last week, if you watched the show, I was live down in Panama City Beach getting things geared up for the Deep South Paracomic-Con that took place last weekend. And we didn't have a guest, but we came on the show. We talked about a lot of really cool things that's going on because we've got a really full fall that's coming up here. And so we hit on a bunch of those different topics, but tonight's show, you guys are really going to enjoy this because we're going to cover a whole lot. I know you're going to have some questions. You're going to want to interact with our guests. And of course, we've got multiple guests. So very excited about that. I also have a lot of links that I'm going to be sharing with you guys tonight. We've got links to the Ghost Biker Hogs and Haunts weekend. We've also got links to the Spirits of Deadwood event that we're going to be talking about tonight. We've got all those links where you can purchase those. So like I said, we've got a really big show tonight, and just want to say hello to a few folks over here in the comments. I've got Mr. Brandon Cooper here from Shaman Sundays, who's going to also be at the event that's coming up there in Deadwood. Miss Nancy Weems from down in Florida, good evening, and thank you so much for watching. And David Anderson, hello. Looking forward to seeing you at the London Tourism Ghost Biker Hogs and Haunts weekend. Got a great ride planned. Of course, Miss Susan Purcell from down in Cleveland, and then also Miss Lisa Remington from out west, I think, Minnesota, but now you've relocated here to Scott County. So thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. If you have any questions for tonight's guests, because again, we're going to be covering a lot of things, if you don't mind, put those over in the comments in all caps, just so as I'm scrolling through, I don't miss anyone. And also, just noticed I missed my new friend, Miss Crystal Hill. Met her this weekend with with the Ghost Hunting Housewives. They were my roommate or my neighbor there at the Deep South Paracomic-Con. Just want to talk briefly about that. Again, this weekend was a great weekend with the Deep South Paracomic-Con in Ozark, Alabama. This was the second annual event. We had everything from paranormal investigators to celebrities. Miss Sonia Thompson from The Walking Dead's right there in that picture. But we had people from television shows, from associated with anime and comics, and investigation equipment creators. Lots of different folks here at this event. I think there was over 60 vendors there, and we had some great speakers. And so I was honored to be one of those speakers at this event. Again, it was a good week. The funds went to the Boys and Girls Club of Ozark, Alabama, and the Fikes from Wiregrass Paranormal were the ones who put this on. So again, thank you guys so much for allowing me to be a part of this, and looking forward to the third annual one. So looking forward to seeing how all of that goes. I know that Brandon was there at the Deep South Paracomic-Con, so it was good to get to see him as well. And then, like I said, Miss Sonia Thompson. So a couple other things that we've got going on here before we get to tonight's guest. Just want to make sure to mention that we do have, let's see, let me go through these and find this here. So we do have the links to the Ghost Biker Explorations Hogs and Haunts weekend for 2023. We're partnering with London, Kentucky Wildcat Harley Davidson, as well as the London Laurel County Tourism Commission. And all the funds from the paranormal investigation that we're doing, that goes to the London Laurel Shop with a Cop program, which again, here in rural Appalachia is something that's really, really important for the kids in the community. I know we have a great Shop with a Cop program here in Scott County, but we're very honored to help the London Laurel Shop with a Cop program there. But this is going to be a full weekend, October 14th and 15th. It's going to start on Saturday morning with, it's going to go from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to have a free meet and greet with myself there at Wildcat Harley Davidson. Got some really cool things planned for that. And then, of course, and that dealership is just absolutely beautiful. So we've got that going on. I think there's going to be some food that's going to be going on that day as well. And then at, I believe it's at 7 p.m. I need to double check that time. But we will have a very special investigation. We're limiting the number to 14 investigators. And it's going to be $45 to come, and we're going to be investigating a never before investigated location, a cave in southeastern Kentucky. And we're going to have that up until, I need to double check the times. It has it all here on this link down here at the bottom, but I'm going to go right here and I'm going to share this so that whenever we go into, when you're looking through the comments and such, you can go in and just pull those links directly and purchase your tickets. I think we've actually already sold several tickets already to this event. So with 14 tickets, these are going to go pretty quick, especially with this unique location. And then on Sunday, we've got, I believe it's a 128-mile motorcycle ride that's going to go through southern Kentucky, end over it's either right at the Virginia line, but it's going to be a fall foliage ride. Last year, we did several different haunted locations that we actually stopped at and saw the history, saw some Civil War reenactments, ate at the Sanders, the original Kentucky Fried Chicken Cafe up there, and went to Cumberland Falls. But this year, there's not going to be any stops, but we'll have a very cool interactive map that we're creating for folks that are going to be on this ride. I think we're limiting it to 15 people, and it is going to be a free ride as well. So if you do go on and book your spot on this ride and for some reason can't attend the event, please go on, remove yourself, because we did have a lot of folks last year that wanted to go on and actually do the ride, but it showed that the ride was filled up. It sold out really quick, but due to the hurricane that was coming through the area, we did have to have a rain out date, and we did it the very next week. So we do have a rain out date planned already for this event on October 15th. It will be the next Saturday if by chance we do unfortunately have bad weather. And then one last thing that I want to make sure to mention before we get to tonight's guests. Want to talk briefly about, let's see, let me pull it up here, the Tennessee Haunts and Legends Expo. That's going to be taking place at the fairgrounds there in Nashville, Tennessee on October 21st from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eric Freeman Sims is putting this on, and I know you guys know him. You know him from the Unseen Paranormal podcast, and it's ranked one of the top paranormal podcasts out there. But I'm going to be speaking that day. I don't have the time right in front of me, but I know he's got over 60 vendors at this, and they're filling up the fairgrounds. What better place to be in October than down in downtown Nashville? So definitely check that out. We will have more information about this as it gets a little closer, but it is October 21st, 2023, and we will have links and such that I think you can actually purchase tickets at the door. So anyways, want to go ahead and get to tonight's guest, because I always love it whenever we're able to have multiple people here on the show. And so again, we got a lot of things to talk about with this really cool event. You've heard me talk about it for probably the last month and a half, the Spirits of Deadwood and Sacred Mountain Retreat. So if you will, help me in welcoming my guests tonight, Mr. Jerrid, MaryLyn, and Scott and Kim from Horn Paranormal. Hey, guys.
Hey, Miranda. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you guys for taking the time to come on tonight and talk about this really great event that's coming up here in just a little over a month.
Yes. Too bad, unfortunately, I feel really bad Rose couldn't join us with Deadwood History tonight, but she's got COVID and she sends her apologies.
Absolutely. We're going to definitely try to get Rose on. I know that she is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the history of Deadwood. So thank you guys with Horn Paranormal for stepping in and sharing some of this history as well as sharing some of your paranormal findings. I do want to go ahead and start with Jerrid, who is the founder of Sacred Mountain Retreats. I know we've been showing a video the last couple weeks, and we will end up showing it again tonight. But if you don't mind going on and telling us a little bit about Sacred Mountain and what you guys do.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me on. It's an honor to be
here. Oh, did he freeze now?
Looks like he froze.
Oh, no.
Can you hear me? I'm back.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Good. We're up here on the mountain, and sometimes the service isn't the best. So anyway, Sacred Mountain Retreat Center, we started in 2018. We set in the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. We are a retreat center for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. And it's just a place where veterans, first responders especially, can come for a place of healing, a place of quietness. They can maybe learn some new tasks, some new skill sets that they can take back home with them and maybe implement into their everyday life. With veteran and Leo on that side, with the suicide rate as high as it is, I just seen it was a huge need to be able to provide a service that was different than most other programs out there. We don't have any doctors. We don't have any clinicians on site. It's all a peer-to-peer and mentor base. So they're getting the attendees when they come through, they're getting to work alongside of a mentor who's already came to the program, who's already witnessed 7 days of how the process works. We start out kind of slow. Night 1, night 2, night 3 gets a little bit deeper. We do a lot of fireside. We do equine therapy, blacksmithing, leather work, yoga therapy, massage therapy. We just try to get their mind in a little different place for 7 days. Quietness. They cook together. Some of these men and women that come, they don't do a lot of cooking. So being able to give them new skills, I guess, and maybe it's just freshening up on some old skills, but the program is just finishing its 5th year in. We've had 240 people approximately that have came to the program. We've touched 38 states. So it's not just a local thing to where just South Dakota can come. We've had Florida and Washington and California, New York. So we've touched a lot of states, and I believe we've touched a lot of lives. At least that's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and to me, it sounds wonderful as far as the fact that it is a peer-to-peer type counseling. Do you find that gets more people in rather than when you have the clinicians and that sort of thing?
It froze up again.
I do. I feel that having a mentor-based program is very crucial in so many different ways. Am I gone?
Yes.
No,
I think when did I go through it? In March? Yeah, I went through it in March, and I've been here, I don't know, 4 years, and they've been doing it for 5 years. So I was like, oh, they're right here in our backyard. So I went through it just to see, and that's why I'm big into volunteering for them. It's because I really believe in what they have going on up there. I mean,
I think I'm back, right?
Yeah, you're back.
So yes, to answer your question, I feel that the peer-to-peer and mentor base is a very strong part of this program. And so often when I'm talking about the program, I explain it in a way that there's nothing wrong with a doctor or a counselor.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't. But in so many walks of life, there's different but similarities to PTSD. When you have a trauma, when you have a trauma, not any one trauma that's the same in someone's eyes, but it can be similar. So a doctor or clinician that comes and sets with someone that, and again, I'm not talking bad about them, but they've learned how to counsel through college or through a textbook. They haven't walked in the same similarities that a lot of these men and women have gone through. So being able to set and talk to a mentor or to another peer, another person that has that similarity, I think it forms a quicker bond. It forms a quicker trust. And a lot of times it forms into a lifetime of either a friendship or just knowing that you have someone that you can truly rely on when times are tough.
I'd like to add on that. When I went through the spring with the group, we all did a group text and we all stay in touch. And when somebody's having a bad day, they just put it out in a text. And each one of us has been there. We're Facebook friends. I mean, it's a bond. It's a lifetime thing. So if somebody's having a bad day, they know we put all our stuff, our crap out there in front of each other already in that week. So they aren't afraid to say, you know what, guess what? Today was crappy. And one of us is on there saying, hey, you know what? We're still here for you. I love it. I love that because that would never have happened if we hadn't got that week of us crammed together. And I'm talking all different personalities, people that you wouldn't normally be normal, go up and be friends with, but you end up there. It's almost like, just like the military when I was in, brother, sister bond. It's tight. It is.
Oh, that's wonderful. And so if somebody is looking to get into the program, is this something that you have a schedule where you have these weeks out there, or can somebody, or does this just kind of go year round?
No. So we're actually right now in the process of building our 2024 schedule. It'll start April, May-ish. A lot of it depends on weather, but we'll run retreats throughout the year, but we don't run them basically November, December, January, February, mostly March, because it is, we're here in the Black Hills and we get a lot of snow. We're not quite, we don't have quite the facilities to be able to run the whole program in the wintertime. That's still.
Yeah.
I think he froze again.
Yeah.
That's still part of the work in progress, is being able to hopefully eventually be able to run some of these in the wintertime. And one thing, I guess I am cutting out a lot, and I don't know why, because I'm on really good Wi-Fi right now. But one thing that I do like to add to this is
it's a good page. It's a good page.
All right, I'm back again. We talked about this on a few different podcasts, and one thing that I like to talk about is this area is so unique. Where we set is old native ground. And our slogan is where the hills heal the heroes. Sacred Mountain Retreat Center didn't just get its name because we felt this area was sacred. We felt like there was a higher power. Immediately when you come onto the property, you can just feel something different, energy. You can feel, I guess if you want to call them the spirits that really help guide each and every person when they come through the program, to be able to feel comfortable, to know that they're in a safe place, to know that they're with other like-minded men and women, that it's a judge-free zone. You're able to talk about some of the worst things that's happened to you, or some of the worst things that you had to go through, and know that you have a team of other attendees and mentors and people that can stand beside you and help you through that journey. And I say it, everybody's got their own path. We're going to walk as close as we can to help each person down that path.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was actually going to be my my next question was do you believe that that area kind of has a healing? So you actually answered that before I asked that. If folks would like to go, if they can't make it to the event, which we're going to get into the event here in a few minutes, but you have a lot of places where people can donate on the website. We
do. We have a donate page that's up right now. You can do monthly. Excuse me. You can do a one-time. There's multiple ways. We also, I believe, on our website, we are raffling off a 33 Chevy Coupe that was purchased, and we're selling raffle tickets. One lucky winner is going to walk away with that on, I guess it would be next Monday. So is that Memorial Day, Labor Day? We're going to be drawing for that. And there's always, we've always got new things and new ways to be able to help with the retreat center. We are a nonprofit, so we run a lot off of donations and fundraisers, and in today's society, I don't feel that there's enough that us civilians can do to give back to the men and women that have kept us free, whether Absolutely. It's overseas or the men in blue here.
Jerrid, talk about your puppy program, because I think it's really cool.
Yes.
So we started the puppy program in 2020, and again, it's an easy application. I believe it's down on our website right now for actually attending the retreat and our puppy program. We're making some tweaks to it, but statistics show that veteran suicide drops 79% when you can put a service animal in the hands of a veteran or a first responder. I didn't really have a whole lot of plan. I just kind of jumped in and punt, and however it works, it works. This year, when we end the year this year, we'll have given almost 30 puppies to men and women in the last 4 years.
That's wonderful. And
it's so I think it not only is it rewarding for the veteran, but it's rewarding for the organization to be able to see how a service animal, a dog, can take someone to a different level. We've had a few attendees that have came through the program and really started getting their life, kind of figured out and back on track, and we're in a better place. They applied for a puppy, they received a puppy, and they just exploded once they got that service animal. It gave them more confidence. It gave them that sense of comfort and companionship. So the puppy program is a very dear thing. You can't see them now, but a minute ago there was 3 of them trying to jump on me because it's our playtime usually. But so dogs have always been a big part of my life, and so being able to add another kind of a spin-off to the program with the service animals has just been outstanding. We have an amazing trainer in Wyoming, Wes Magnus, over there at K9 Elite. He handles all of the training of our service animals. We've kind of partnered with him on some other things.
Like you got to keep moving.
Yeah.
Everybody's locked up.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll pull this comment up here while we're waiting on Jerrid to get back. Flip and the Blue Mule says, "So true. My canine is the reason I'm still here." And you hear that a lot, I'm sure.
Absolutely, you do. Yep. It's great. It gets people back out in society. Sometimes it gets them to be able to have one attendee, recipient that received a puppy that hadn't been to the grocery store by himself in almost 11 years. And just this last year, he was able to start going to the grocery store and grab some groceries when his wife was working still or whatever. So that's just,
Uh,
it's pretty neat, pretty special what they can bring to a veteran.
Absolutely. And, thank you for putting this, the programs and this location together. So, and how long you may have said there at the beginning, if 5 years, correct, is how long Sacred Mountain has been around?
That's correct. We started in 2019.
they froze up again. Just starting.
We started the program in 2019, and that was kind of our slow year. But then COVID hit, another slow year, but we just kept trucking through and doing the best we could, and things have just started to explode. This year has been an outstanding year. Last year was a great year. Next year, I just think that we're going to continue to shoot for the moon and fly through the stars. We've got some great things that are in works right now. We do a large fundraiser here in Deadwood in February. That's probably one of our best events. We will be revealing who our keynote speaker is this year, and it's going to be outstanding. Probably, again, I say this every year. I don't know how we can beat this year, but I think this next year we're moving to a new venue. We're just really every year we're just working to try to make it as bigger, better as we possibly can.
And the best place, I guess, for people to see some of the different events and things you guys have going on would be on the website, sacredmountainretreat.org.
Yep, that's right. You can follow us through there. You can like us on Facebook, Instagram. We're on all those social media platforms. We'd love the support, and we'd love to hear if you know a veteran that, maybe in the back of your mind, you got a brother or a sister or, a family member, a friend, whatever, that's just struggling. Have them check us out. Brandon was just made a comment. Brandon Cooper came through the program. That's between him and Kim. That's kind of how this program, the paranormal event in Deadwood, got started. I think both of those two individuals that came through the program, it was life-changing for them. I know that Brandon's wife, she reached out to me and was very elated to see the transformation that was made in Brandon in just 7 days. And that's the other thing that I was going to hit on when I was talking about the program is, so many people say, well, what can you do for me in 7 days? It's pretty amazing. I mean, Kim can attest to it. You can't really even fathom how 7 days here on the mountain, you come in as strangers, you start to build that friendship and that bond, and before you leave, you got a new family. I mean, people are emotional, they're crying when they're getting ready to leave. It's pretty powerful how it all comes together.
And this seems to be like you hear from a lot of other folks that have gone through the program that it literally saved their lives, like Brandon says.
I want to add to that. A lot of people are afraid to do maybe the application because they're like, well, I wasn't a combat vet. That doesn't matter. Trauma is trauma. And that's the one thing I liked about that, because like what Jerrid said, we had people that were firefighters. You can EMTs. If you were in the line of service, a police officer or any of that stuff, and you had something difficult, mine was medical. Mine was, what they did to me. I was a guinea pig in the military. And so it kind of stemmed with my PTSD and not being able to have children. And so over the years, my depression, things like that, had a different root than somebody who, let's say, watched, a major accident happen in front of them. So it didn't matter what the trauma is. If you are in a place of service and you're dealing with stuff that's unresolved, it don't matter. It's a place of healing. It's exactly what it is.
Trauma's trauma.
Yep. And so I don't want people to say, well, I'm not going to fill out that application because it doesn't apply to me. That's not true. You're a veteran, you're a first responder, so you put yourself out there for the people to save the people. That makes you qualified for this program in the sense of if you're a first responder or veteran, or because
very good point, Kim. We've had so many people that I've talked to, whether it be at different events or, wherever I'm at, they're like, well, there's somebody that needs it worse. And the one thing that I don't like to say this, but I have to say it because in today's world, it's the truth. I said, has the thought of suicide crossed your mind? And all they have to do is say, yes, this program is for you. You don't even have to have attempted suicide. If the thought of suicide has crossed your mind, this program is for you.
Wow. And I mean, our first responders and military, I mean, they're the backbone of our community. So having locations like this is just phenomenal and fantastic. So I just speaking for myself, I'm truly honored to be part of this great event that we're getting ready to talk about. And it's so unique. It's a great way to fundraise and raise money. People working with the paranormal and paranormal tourism. Let's talk a little bit about this event that we've got coming up here.
MaryLyn, why don't you take off on this one?
I thought I was going to skate by.
No.
So with Horn Paranormal, I'm their lead psychic medium. So we're working together and helping Jerrid with this event. We are going to be. Can you put up the flyer?
Yep.
So we're actually doing the investigation at the Bullock Hotel. We have the Fairmont and the Brothel. And then we are doing gallery readings. We have special packages. You can go in, and we've actually locked down the Bullock Hotel for the investigations and just for this event. So we're going to be doing gallery readings, like I said, the investigations, and just all kinds of things. And we have Miranda's going to be there with us, and then we have Rex. He's going to come in and doing our podcast with us and investigation, and he's also a artist. And Miranda, you do some pretty cool drawings too, don't you?
I do. I do. What's really cool about this is looks like we're all artists, and we've all got our own favorite medium that we like to use. And so for me, it's black and white, graphite, and charcoal.
Yep.
And I draw a lot of haunted and historic buildings and locations.
And beautiful work. I've seen that. I love it. So, and Rex does the same thing. So he does, I think he also does the graphite and does markers and all kinds of really cool stuff. And I'm an intuitive artist. I use acrylics. I do paint pouring, but I also do just my hand drawings as well. And then we also have KD. And then we also have Josh Purvis with Searchers, who's going to be joining us as well. So I think Kim knows a little bit more about on that, and she can kind of step in now. I'll pass the buck.
Yeah. So the people, I don't even know where to say. I kind of want to ask some more questions about you, Miranda, because your show, you come in on your YouTube videos, you ride in on your bike, right? And then you actually video your own. You have your own series with the Ghost Biker, right?
I do. So, I do this weekly live stream, but it was created as a way to create more content and more conversation with the people who watch the series. And so we're filming season 6 right now that will come out in October. And each of the episodes, I ride my motorcycle to the different haunted and historic locations. And we always go deep into the history. So probably about a quarter of the show is on the history, why we're there, and the travel and some interesting tourism facts. And then, and of course, the story, and then going through the investigation and the resolution of some of the different things that we find. So try to keep them kind of short, 20 to, I think the longest episode is maybe 50 minutes, 45, 50 minutes. We want to really keep it engaging for people and really cover a lot of those locations that maybe are not over investigated, maybe more of the local legends and stories that might be more regional to the state that we're at, and not so much, we do visit the larger commercial locations, but we do like to really cover the smaller. And I am a solo investigator and a solo content creator. So all the episodes are self-produced, and it's funded through these different selling of merchandise at the different events and the selling of my drawings.
You do a lot of fundraising for charities yourself, though, too, right?
I do. Every event that we do, especially if we're partnering with Harley Davidson or with other biker venues, it's always tagged to some type of charity. And so, I don't see any of those funds. The only time I see any funds is either through a drawing that's been commissioned or through the sale of merchandise. But we always pick a unique and interesting charity that is related to that area that we're doing the event in. And we've done events throughout the entire country, and super, super honored to be branching that. I've never been to South Dakota before, so I'm very excited to
You're going
be
to
out
the best part of South Dakota.
That's right.
Yes.
That is right.
Yes.
So I just want to add too that every penny that comes in from this event is going to Sacred Mountain.
Yes.
This is a
Yes.
100% fundraiser for Sacred Mountain.
Yes. So, yes. I don't know what else except or just to add on that. When we go into this event, we're going to have people come in, and we'll probably have Rex do, and we'll end up having Jerrid explain what Sacred Mountain does when they come in. They'll meet at the Bullock Hotel. And for the investigation part, we will actually have the 3 locations, the Bullock, the Fairmont, and the Brothel, which the Brothel Deadwood History. I wish Rose would have been on tonight because she would have told you all about that part. But we have the 3 locations, and we're going to rotate groups through, and everybody's going to get a chance to investigate with Miranda and Rex and everybody you see on the poster, like Katie, and more than likely, Katie, you guys probably are really aware of him with Ghost of Morgan City and Ghost.
Phenomenal spirit boxes.
Yes, he creates the best, I think. And so he's going to that's what he'll be doing for his experiment. I don't know what you're going to do for an experiment yet, Miranda. You'll have to surprise us with it. And Scott and I, we like to use the SLS and the XLS on our experiments. So we encourage people to bring equipment if they have it. If you don't worry about it. Somebody's going to have something in hand. If you're new at it, you can just follow it along with us and stuff. And we'll have those 3 locations that we'll rotate through, and you'll get to investigate with everybody that's there, and then all 3 locations. And then it's going to be awesome because on Saturday, Miranda, you'll be there. Josh will be there. You guys will be able to talk to these people on the celebrity level. Like Josh is going to be filming this event for Sacred Mountain event, for Sacred Mountain. And then we've got, we've got the artist stuff going on Saturday, right? And if the VIP tickets go through, we've got private readings. We're going to have a bunch of stuff. I know Rose was working on seeing if she can get them to go ahead and do their private shootout that they do in the streets,
The reenactment.
Nice.
Into that. Yeah. She reached out to the people that do that to see if they could do that. Let's see what else. I actually have a ton of stuff over the 3 locations. Scott and I live 11 miles from there. So we always go and investigate these places. The Bullock Hotel that you see the little one there, Seth Bullock, that was his hotel. And he was the sheriff of the town. And he went in and he built this hotel, and it's super haunted. And it's well known that to actually possibly catch him through photographs, EVPs, things like that. They have books when you go to register at the hotel that are really thick of all the evidence people have caught and mailed in to show them of the evidence they caught at that hotel. It's just baffling that people from all over the world send stuff in. It's that haunted. It's so neat.
Well,
go ahead.
Oh, no, please go ahead.
The Fairmont, we have Steven over there. He's been the guide for a long, long time, and he opened it up for our investigation for that night. And that place is super haunted. It used to be a brothel. So you have the brothel, and then you have the other saloon brothel all on the same street. And at one time, the brothel ran the whole road of Deadwood on that side. So you may pick up one spirit here, and you might be over here, and you might get the same spirit because they all will follow you around. You'll get all kinds of energy. You never know. We've got things that we can't say on here that we actually caught on EVP that is brothel related.
And the cool thing too is they're all within walking distance,
Yes.
like a little triangle.
Yes,
That was going to be my next question, was how, if somebody's not familiar with the town, how close is all of that?
walking. And that's the best part about coming, not just this investigation. The town is so historical. You've got the Hickocks down the street. You've got you have all the historical buildings that were built. I mean, it was a mining town. It was Black Hills Gold. That's what brought everybody there in the late 1800s. You watch the series Deadwood series. It's based on those characters. Charlie Utter was a real person, and he brought in Calamity Jane Wild Bill Hickok and all the prostitutes to Deadwood at once on one big old thing. He brought them all in. And so they all came to town together. Calamity Jane is buried in Mount Moriah Cemetery right next to Wild Bill. There's a little bit of gossip there because she's supposedly so in love with him that she was going to be buried right next to him. So you can go up there. Rose was telling about, what was it? Potato, I can't think of his name. Potato Creek Johnny, I think's his name. Now, don't quote me. I'm not sure on that. I'll have to look it up. But he found
Johnny Creek Potato.
There you go. So he had, and it's still actually at the Adams Museum, and you have the Adams Museum, but there is a huge gold nugget that he found. And so there's stories about him there. It's just, there's so much history there that you could go and take a day that has nothing to do with this and just have a blast in Deadwood. And did I mention there's gambling there? So it's a gambling town, a really fun gambling town. But
when did prostitution become illegal in that area?
82. 1982.
Really?
Yes. And there's a
Wow.
story behind that too. It had to do with bikers of all things. A 1%er biker group that came in. They used to hold their clubhouse meetings in one of the prostitutions. I think it was the Purple Door, wasn't it, Pam?
Pam's Purple Door.
And
So the story goes that she hired, there was some, I mean, it's a story. You can Google it, look it up. But Woody Harrelson's dad is in prison for supposedly taking a hit out on two federal agents, I believe, that was negotiated from Pam, one of the madams from Pam's Purple Door. And that got pretty much started
all the prostitution
across the country around that 80, 81, 82 eras when they went after all the brothels for like tax evasion and things like that and shut them down.
And what's really crazy is if you guys end up taking a day tour, like through the brothel, also we have Vicky and Matt who manage the Bullock. You can take day tours and they'll give you the actual history. And Rose will go into that history, or whoever does the day tours at the brothel, and talk about that whole the whole federal case that went on and how they got shut down and the brothels and which madams were there and how it all came to play out. Because up into the 1960s, they used to they were the best paying, the brothels paid the kids. They'd send the kids in, the Boy Scouts in, and because they were the best donors to give them the money. So the history just isn't 1800s. It goes like into the 80s of how
Current.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just really super interesting. I mean, there's so much there. I mean, this is where Wild Bill Hickok got shot and the dead man's hand come from, the whole story with the aces and eights. So there's a lot of Western history. It has a lot to do with, we actually had Colonel Custer come through here, Custer, South Dakota, on his way to Custer's last stand. So, that's part of history a lot of people don't want to talk about. But his cook is buried up here in Galena, right at Vinegar Hill. So there's a lot of cavalry. There's a lot of Seth Bullock went off to fight in the Civil War. They didn't, but they actually went. So his flag he carried is in the museum. There's tons and tons of stuff here. And so it's worth just coming out for the history if you're not into the paranormal. But it's really cool because if you go on these, I guarantee you will catch stuff on these paranormal tours. They have them regularly here. Like Stephen does a nightly Fairmont one at his thing in the summer because they catch so much evidence at the Fairmont.
Yeah, these are probably the three most active / iconic places in Deadwood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even the history or the paranormal side.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait to get out there just to see it because I've never been, and of course, with being close to Sturgis and just great biking areas out there for anyone that is out there biking, and of course, as Angel K says, the place is so fascinating. Let's talk just a little bit about the tickets and such that people can do whenever they come here for this event.
There you go. Do you want to do that, MaryLyn?
I can. Yeah. So, so as you can see on the screen, we do have general admission tickets. If you live around or just coming in, we do the individual tickets for $75. We do have Friday and Saturday night hotel packets, and that does include. Don't have my glasses on. Dinner and investigations at the 3 locations, and again, you can have an individual or for 2 people. And those are $600 and $800. Thank you. And then we also have, if you want just a single night, the Saturday night packet, the hotel with dinner again, and an investigation with those 3 locations. For the individuals, it's $550 and $750 for a couple or 2 people.
I'd like to add that this hotel only has 28 rooms in the whole hotel. Jerrid has locked this in to have the whole hotel access to us for tickets. Some of those packages have been sold, but I would say hurry and get what you can because there's some rooms that are more haunted than the other rooms. And so if you want your choice, you need to get in there and get your ticket spot because they're very active rooms.
Well, and another thing about Deadwood, every weekend there's usually something going on, and hotel rooms are hard to find.
Very.
So if you're planning on coming in just to do like the general admission and expect to get a room, that might be hard. And like I said, he locked down the whole hotel, so everybody that's going to be there is going to be part of this paranormal investigation, the event.
And the pricing for the hotel, everybody's like, wow, maybe $600, $300. You're not going to, and that's still coming out of summer. So that's what hotels go for. He's actually taking a hit on the hotel prices by doing it this way because you're getting the investigation thrown in there. So it's really a good deal if you were to go and look at the pricing of what Deadwood, it's a tourist town. It's one of those places. So, but you can fly into Rapid City and then you can either rent a car or I don't know, does their cabs go that far, Jerrid? Do you know?
Yeah, I believe they do have some shuttle services that do run from Rapid City to Deadwood.
Okay, because I know I was asked that question too for that. So
the other thing to add too, you couldn't ask for a better time to come to the Black Hills is the end of September. It's beautiful. The weather is amazing. We've had over 30 inches of rain this summer. It is
green.
the grass, the green, it's beautiful still.
Yes. And there's supposed to be a full night, the night of the investigation. And we're kind of still working on trying to figure out about Mount Moriah, like what I had mentioned to you, Miranda, maybe get in there and doing some kind of, if the mayor would talk to Jerrid about it and we can figure it out of getting maybe some where we can go and do a tour up there. That would
be wonderful. Yeah. And so you guys have made it really easy to purchase whatever ticket package that you want to get on that page that we were on. I've been sharing the links there in the comment section. And so from the Sacred Mountain Retreat page, and you go to the paranormal event page over on the side in the menu there under events, and then just right below their package tiers is a button that says to purchase packages or purchase tickets. So it's got everything broken down really nice right here. And we have shared that link in the comments section as well, just so it's a little bit easier for people to find.
So we're also looking at sponsorship as well. So on that page too, if you want to be a sponsor of the event, you can go in and do that. There are special packages for that. If you do that, becoming a sponsor, you could get up to, I think, 4 tickets to be able to attend the event as well as part of that sponsorship. So go check those out.
Wonderful. And so let's kind of talk, we've talked a little bit about the event. Let's talk about the activity that you've kind of touched on it just a little bit, but you guys, being from the area, you've actually sent us some of the different pieces of evidence that you all have captured there.
Yes. I don't know. Did you get them?
My cat is trying to give me kisses while I...
There's nothing wrong with kitty kisses.
Okay, let's see. She always is such a show.
She is a sweetheart.
I want that level of
attention.
I don't care.
Start loving.
MaryLyn has actually investigated. I met her there in person, yes. And of course the Horns there at Haygood Mill back in March. And MaryLyn has actually come to the jail and investigated here and got to meet Sally herself in person.
Oh, sweet kitty. Aww. Yes,
she is. So what I'm going to do on these is I'm actually going to just pull one up here on the screen, and then that way you guys can talk about what's going on there in the picture. Okay.
So I know I sent there's oh my goodness. Jesus overload. I know that so that is actually at the brothel with Rose, and this is in the gift shop, and I was explaining to her how the SLS works. So of course we started getting some male voices coming through the microcom, which is a device that Katie makes. And we had 2 individuals show up next to her. You can see the stick figures. That's how they'll show on an SLS. When you catch something, you will map them like that. Now we'll have our SLS with us, but we'll also have a 3D type, which is called the XLS, which is the next version up from this one with us. So that you guys, whoever is investigating with us in our group, will be able to, or whoever has it, that's the kind of stuff that you will probably be able to capture. And that will happen at all 3 locations.
So what Kim is not saying is that Scott actually makes the SLS and the XLS and other equipment as well.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So, we'll probably have that at Josh's table since we're partners with Josh. And so that, if people want to order any equipment. And that's everybody that's coming there. Hopefully we'll have some merchandise for people to look at and that sort of thing and see if they want to reach out and do that. I do know that there's a skull that Rex has done that's absolutely phenomenal. And I don't have a picture of it. Oh, let me go back to this. Okay. So back in October, the best time is in the fall to catch stuff at the hotels. And this is looking into a really scratched up surface of an elevator. It was that colored copper.
Like a brass.
I had gotten on the elevator and I felt the door come open and shut like somebody's trying to get in, like it stopped the door and got in. So I immediately got out my phone and started taking pictures into the reflection. Just 1, 2, 3 with my phone as quick as I can. And that was the first one. And I want you guys to look at it. I want you to look down by my feet and see how my feet are planted. I did not move. I take really quick photos. So I didn't move. You see my stance, and that was my first picture.
Okay.
They're starting to get blurry, and you're like, I didn't move. This is like boom, boom, boom. And then the third picture. Does everybody see my feet are still together? I believe that was Seth that got on the elevator with me. And as a second medium, I felt him get on, and that's why I grabbed my phone and started taking pictures. So I always tell people, get your camera ready, use it for EVPs, take pictures wherever, even if you don't think that if you're feeling something weird, get out your camera. They like to be very photogenic there at the Bullock.
And, and that's the same way we caught our 7-foot shadow figure here in our drunk tank was the team or it wasn't even a team. It was a guided ghost hunt. They were here and they actually, started feeling activity happening and getting a lot of activity on our tools. And a lady who had never investigated before just started snapping pictures. And 3 pictures later, there's this 7-foot shadow figure there.
Yep. And the kind of like with that rule of pictures, then you can rule it out. Like if it's a glare off something, you can debunk them. If you do the same thing over, something that you can try to recreate, it gives it more validity, yes or no, to your pictures. And so I think that's a good way. Now, this one was with Scott downstairs. And one of the things so you're mapping Scott at that point, and I'm holding onto the camera, that on the little table, there's a little figure. Well, there is a little girl that you will pick up laughing, playing. They call her Sarah. And they said that there is a Sarah that used to be one of the prostitutes' daughters that used to always go over to Seth's hotel when they were alive. So they feel like she still hangs out with Seth. So we had taken this with our SLS downstairs and caught her. And as we started talking to her and the REM pods were going off, on one of the next pictures, you'll see a bright light. That is not a reflection. That actually it came down and we actually caught the REM pods going off. So it was, once we started talking to the little girl, we almost felt like Seth was coming in to make sure we were okay. And this was downstairs where they have the speakeasy now. So she likes to play downstairs. So you'll catch little girls, you'll catch voices. I mean, so just be open-minded to it. The downstairs, I've caught another picture of a shadow cowboy, which is very common. We were just on a group tour and they were talking about it, snapping pictures, and he was in the corner and you could see his cowboy hat and a tall, slender body, like what you saw in the elevator. And it was back in the corner where there shouldn't have been shadowing. So downstairs, looking into the bar mirror, I felt like something came on me. So I started taking pictures.
So this was probably 2 feet away from where that SLS footage was.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Now the history behind the Bullock is downstairs when they had the flu epidemic, they actually used it for a morgue. So I'm thinking, this is just a personal opinion, that there's 3 pictures. There's one that she isn't showing up where I feel. And then this would have been the second one on the right. And then the third one, she appeared. Wow. I felt her there. And to me, I felt like it had to do during the time of the morgue, when it was a morgue. So that was the first one.
Wow.
I don't know why these are blurry, because I was using my phone and it just turned out the energy just made the pictures blurry like that, because all my other pictures were clear. But I felt her, so I took the pictures and she did show up. And so that's why I said, you just never know what you're going to catch there. But everything is really, really friendly. I think there's nothing negative there, which makes for a fun investigation. You're going to get some grouchy cowboys, but that's pretty much it there. The energy is different in each place. You'll catch stuff at the Bullock. Fairmont, you're going to get some mischievous stuff. We had some cameras set up and Jerrid was there and he was calling BS on the spirit box, saying, "Oh, that's just radio waves." We had the cameras and we were going through our footage, and maybe we'll bring it. It's so funny because he goes, "This is just a bunch of baloney." I'm keeping my words, keeping it PG. We had 3 cameras and nothing showed up, and we had a camera right there that was night vision, and our CCT camera catches over here a cowboy telling him to shut that up, as plain as day, and nobody
but
heard
the other
it.
camera that was literally 5 feet in front of that
Nobody
camera
else
didn't catch
it.
that voice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you'll have that. And then you go over to the brothel and we had sexual noises and stuff show up on
we'll
that.
Just leave that
so
at that.
yeah. And Rose she won't go into detail either, but she has some other stories. So she's having Mo with Black Hills Paranormal coming to help her that night, because he'll be there. So people have questions, ask these guides. They do tours all the time. He uses certain equipment that works great there. So he'll be able to answer any of the questions on each place. If anybody's wanting to know more information, the background, there's people that are going to be planted there that can give them a lot of info.
Same with the Fairmont. Steve, he was there. Yes. I mean, he was there for a long time, and he was there when like Ghost Adventures did their
and Dead Files.
So yeah, he's been around there a long time.
And he said that he's even seen somebody become possessed there once. So that's why it's different. And that was the one I was going to put you into, Marin, at first. But I'm going to rotate. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Well, there is a story. Scott came home after we did that, and he smelled like cigarette smoke. And he doesn't smoke. For anybody who knows my husband, he is not a smoker. And he'd been in to kiss me, and he went off into the shower. And he's like, I'm hearing a little girl run. And we were having all this activity. I'm like, great, we brought something home from there. So we ended up saging, and then we went back. And it was, I believe, Brandon. And when he was out for his mentorship, we went back and we did another investigation. And at the time, Kim was the one who was Kim Mag was the one who was the person that was running that thing. And she had asked him, did you follow Kim home? And they said, yes, ma'am. And I said, you should have kissed me. And he says, but I liked it. And so I scolded him. And we ended up taking the SLS, and we catch this figure. It was like he was a jokester spirit. He bent over and started smacking his own butt on the SLS camera. He's like whacking it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So you don't know what you're going to catch. It's going to be a blast. You just don't know what's going to show up on the equipment. So
absolutely. And so two different questions. So speaking of equipment, if people come, if they're not part of a team or if they're not avid investigators, will equipment be provided, or is it something, they're encouraged to bring recorders and their own equipment?
I encourage them to bring their recorders, use their phones. There's lots of phone apps. I know that Katie and those guys, they sometimes bring extra equipment for people to use. However, like at the brothel, it's really small. So if Katie and those guys are doing an experiment, it'll be enough for everybody to be a part of that experiment with them and watch them. As far as investigating like the brothel, whenever we get done and they just want to walk around, if they have a room, each their own. Our stuff is like, yeah, we won't be like loaning it out, but we'll make sure that we have REM pods. Brandon just said that they'll have extra of that
Good deal,
stuff.
Brandon.
Thank you. And so, we might have extra REM pods. I know there's certain people coming that are bringing their own equipment. So if somebody's curious, they want to see how it works and watch over their shoulders, I encourage that. I encourage you to bring your own equipment. But if you've never done it and you're curious, you can always ask one of the people here. All of us will tell you how it all works, Yeah,
we'll try to put the people, if there's some seasoned investigators at the event from the public, everybody. We'll try to get them situated with people that, are novices or whatever, just so it's not all one,
And I know some of our friends that are coming to it, there's even other mediums coming. So it's going to be everybody's welcome, which is awesome, because you're going to have them that are coming that have abilities that have never been here getting that experience. So if you've never been, it's just going to be really neat and interesting to hear everybody. I want everybody to just kind of enjoy the experience and just see what they pick up. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. And are you anticipating small groups for the investigation?
I
guess it depends.
Yeah, it depends on how much ticket sells. We can break them down into smaller groups because we're going to rotate it around on an hour per place, depending on how big the groups are. We don't want the groups to be over 30 because then like the brothel 15, we want you to have a good investigation. But like I said, with that being said, after it's all done, people who want to go off and investigate by themselves, like at the brothel that have tickets, it's because Jerrid got the whole hotel. He's able to do that. And then the other thing is that, like, for instance, I know that Rose mentioned she's going to stay there till maybe 2. And I think the same thing with Steve. So maybe, if everybody kind of gets done and they're tired and want to go back, but somebody still wants to go back and check something, just get with the guides that are actually there that are running the place and see what time that they're willing to stay open, that if people want to get back and just have a minute by themselves without, us being there, if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, well, I think we're going to try to do like an hour towards the end of the night of a free roam type thing.
I think that would be
depending on how everything goes.
And those guides will be there. Will they be sharing the history beforehand, or is it encouraged that you take like a daytime history?
I encourage you to take a daytime because, like with Matt and Vicky, their day tours are an hour and a half long. There's so much history.
Okay.
And so I don't know. In the brothels is about an hour. Now they're going to be there and you can ask any questions. But if you really want the rich history of it, I think you should take
Yeah,
the tours.
I would agree
They're
with
awesome.
that same thing.
They are awesome. It's not a haunted. It's the background, and it's really neat. It's super cool. And here's the other thing: you guys have all weekend. Let's say you're there. The whole town of Deadwood's haunted, not just these 3 locations. So you could walk out in the middle of the street that night and catch stuff right on the street. It's that crazy. It's awesome. So
now
it's back to the packages for the hotel. Just come for the weekend and enjoy the whole thing.
yeah,
absolutely. And is the town pretty crowded at that time of year, or is it?
Weekends can get busy still. That's why Jerrid got the hotel. And because we have cool Deadwood nights, we're always running something, and you're getting ready. This is the weekend before you start Oktoberfest, October. They do something every weekend, don't they, Jerrid?
Yeah, they do. And the one good thing about it is it's not going to be packed that weekend.
Yeah.
So people will be able to get around. They will be able to see more of the history. It's not going to be crowded like it is this weekend with cool Deadwood nights. There's thousands and thousands of people in town right now. So we did pick a good weekend.
Yep.
Wonderful.
So the other thing is there's a trolley, and it runs till 2 a.m, and it's 50 cents to ride. And I think it's 50 cents to ride the trolley, or $1.
At least $1 or more.
But you can go all over. It'll take you up to Lee. It'll take you down. It'll take you to Mount Moriah if they're open. So you can ride a trolley, and you don't have to drive around. Once you're there, you can park it and just be there. I'd like to reiterate, every single dime is going back to Sacred Mountain on this. I mean, Jerrid's done a bang up job of getting us the places and getting us the locations locked down and taking care of that. So the ticket pricing and stuff helps Jerrid put that back in Jerrid's pocket for paying for that in advance. And then the rest goes to this great, awesome program that he's doing. So yeah, it's really important that people understand that this money goes a long way to the dogs, to his equine program, to the summer programs he has, and future. He flies everybody in here, pays for their meals, and puts them up for an entire week, those many times a summer, on his own dime. So every penny will be spoken for, and it's. I can't say enough about this program. It's just, I don't know if there's any other program out there like this. Seriously.
Yeah, and if you guys are tuning in late to the show, definitely go back to the first part where we talked with Jerrid about Sacred Mountain Retreat and really kind of covered what they do. But we do have a video here that we'll kind of end and wrap things up with, a video that the marketing department here, I guess MaryLyn, put together. And so, and you all are going to have some more videos and such coming out, a lot more marketing coming out on this, correct?
I believe so, yes. We're trying to get it out there. You guys share the crud out of it, please. Get the word out there. This is a good cause. I mean, post all over your social media. We're just a small group that only hits certain people in our platforms, and we seem to have the same favorite people, watch the same favorite shows. So maybe you can reach out to your friends and family and get it a little further than what we could maybe get out there. It's a good thing. I mean, even if you don't come, get that Sacred Mountain Retreat Center out there so that they can at least learn about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. And I do want to say one more thing. We cannot continue the organization without great sponsors, great donors. Every dime matters. When we're, like Kim said, we fly everyone in. It's no expense retreat. It takes a lot of generous donors and a lot of great people that care so much about. What's that?
Sorry, I was addressing Dee Dee there and called her Phoebe.
Okay. But yes, it is. If you can't make the event and you still want to be a donor, you want to be a sponsor of some sort, every dime matters in saving someone's life.
Appreciate that. Yep. It doesn't matter what branch of service you were in. It doesn't matter if you were National Guard. It doesn't matter if you were a police officer. It doesn't matter if you were, whatever your service was. There's an application form. Fill it out. If you need to come, take a break. Doesn't matter if you're male, female, green, orange, or blue. Just, it's awesome. Yeah, I just can't say enough about it.
And the thing is, Sacred Mountain is a nonprofit. So that's the biggest thing, is a nonprofit.
Especially when you're thinking about sponsorships. That's a tax write-off, folks. You're not out of anything when you're helping a cause like that. Think about that. I mean, if we were in a position, we would definitely, they're going to be on my list as I go forward with our paranormal equipment things, donations, that and the cancer thing. Those are my two big ones I think we're going to be donating to. So it's just, whatever's in your heart.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, we'll queue up this video here and we'll come back on real quick when it's done. I'll take you guys off the screen once the video is done. And if you have a few minutes, we'll talk after, but we'll wrap the show up after the video here with just a few announcements. So let me go ahead and start that up.
The IED that blew the truck was a 20-pound propane cylinder packed with explosive. We ended up losing, that was Wahlberg.
A young guy was just bleeding out. We tried everything. He ended up dying. No. It's tough.
No sound there. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Thank you so much, Brandon. Like I said, we want to thank everyone for coming on tonight, the Horns with Horn Paranormal, and sharing some of the history and stepping in for Rose, who couldn't be with us tonight because she had fallen ill. And then, of course, MaryLyn Bast, who's with Horn Paranormal and marketing there with the event. And then Jerrid, who is the founder of Sacred Mountain Retreats. So you can definitely go on there, find more information, purchase your tickets, just donate to the event or to the center if you can't make it out to the event. There are lots of different ways to donate to the different programs. Don't become a sponsor with the event, purchase your tickets. We've got all of that in the show notes. We've also got all of that in the different comments over here on the side. So definitely go and be checking that out. And that is the Spirits of Deadwood, September 29th and 30th. And then also, again, we did show the links up there for the Ghost Biker Hogs and Haunts weekends. We anticipate this to be selling out really quick, October 14th and 15th in London, Kentucky, which if you're here in East Tennessee, it's only a short hour and a half drive on up there into Kentucky. And the funds from that, from the investigation of the cave that's there in southeastern Kentucky, all those funds go to the Shop with a Cop program there in London, Kentucky. So again, we do have those links. We will be actually sharing the links for the Deadwood event, the links for the Ghost Biker event. We'll be sharing all of that in the comments, making announcements that's got the links to actually go and purchase tickets on there. So we do have limited tickets. We're only offering that for 14 people to do the investigation, for 15 people to do the ride. The ride is a free ride. And of course, as far as the investigation goes, it's $45, and we do anticipate those to sell out really quick. We are offering a special discount for folks who come and stay there at a hotel there in London, Kentucky at that event. You don't have to just be doing the investigation or just doing the ride. It can be any of those events right there. That's part of the Hogs and Haunts weekend. So if you come, you show your receipt that where you stayed in a London, Kentucky hotel, you will get a gift basket. I know we've got some Ghost Biker stuff in there. We've got some, I think Harley is making a little donation to that as well. So we've got some different things from the area that's going to be in that little gift pack. So come spend the weekend with us there in London, Kentucky. And then also the Haunts and Legends event that's going to take place that next weekend at the fairgrounds there in Nashville. So a lot of really cool things coming up. And then, of course, we can't forget Ghost Biker Season 6. That's going to be coming up here at really, really quick. First episode is going to be the first Tuesday in October, and there will be a new episode that releases every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by a live on Thursday nights, where we talk about the location, talk about the things that were captured, and then, of course, we're going to be releasing a trailer on that very, very soon. We've got some actually really cool and special announcements. This season is going to be a little bit different. I know that, everybody says that, but, I don't know. We're hoping for the best one yet. So, but it is going to be a little bit different. And of course, yes, Dee Dee, probably not the first time, #friends. So anyways, thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. We are going to wrap up August with my guest next week on the live stream, Mr. Rich Valdez, who is a demonologist. We're going to be talking about the topic of demonology and his new show that he has out there. I think it's the Legions of, actually, I need to look at that. I believe it's the, I need to pull that information up. I don't want to butcher that, but he will be my guest next week. So come with your questions. It's going to be a very interesting topic next week at 9 p.m. Eastern. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. Definitely go on, check out our guests, check out the links on there, and share that information out. As content creators, it's something that's extremely important to what we do. A like, a thumbs up, a heart is important, but sharing it out there and a comment helps raise those algorithms and helps get this information out there to other people, because these content creators put their heart and soul into what they're doing. So it's very, very important. Also, thank you for spending your time. Time is one of the most valuable things that we have, and we appreciate you spending your time with us this week, and we will see you next Thursday night.